Hi, I'm Daniel Gili. I'm a slaughterman and the health and safety rep at Diamond Valley Pork. We work in an industry with a lot of machinery, strenuous work, and something had to be done to provide a safe working environment for the people.
The hazards we are faced with here have significant potential of injury. We have people working with sharp equipment, so it is critical that we get safety right. I rely on Daniel's input greatly in order to achieve all our safety objectives, primarily to ensure that everyone is safe at work. Daniel's been instrumental in the changes that we went through recently. We're changing layouts, changing the workstations of the employees, looking at how many workers should be associated to different duties.
We had an immediate risk here to people working around sterilisers which had 100-degree water spilling out of them. Something had to be done, and we stopped work that day for 3.5 hours until the boiler attendant was called out and they fixed the problem. Another serious one was chain speed.
What he's done here with the reduce of the speed of the chain has helped a lot of blokes.
Without pushing for safer speeds, people would be going beyond their capacity.
He wears a stopwatch to make sure the chain's running at the proper speed, and it has stopped a lot of injuries.
The safety rep is an important part of our safety system to ensure that workers go home the same way they showed up to work that day. We rely on their input a lot.
I have audits on the floor, health and safety audits, where I consult all the members on the job. Quite often while they're working, I'll walk around and I'll take issues. We meet in the lunchrooms, then I go back to management and we hold OHS meetings.
Definitely, he's able to fill that gap between workers and management in the consultation process, being that bridge between them and management.
It's great when I look back, because I've been here 12 years now, and things are much different now than they were when I started.
I've been in this meat game 40 odd years, and in that 40 years he's the best one I've ever had, and with what he says he does, doesn't give you no bullshit.
So I'm going to get Daniel up here in a second. I'll just tell you a little bit about him. He's been in the meat industry for 25 years. The first abattoir he worked alongside his dad, who I think was the delegate, yep, and his dad also taught him how to work as a slaughterman. He's been a union delegate now for 10 years, and he's also the HSR. And the safety of his workplace has increased significantly due to the many issues he's raised and also resolved, both through consultation as well as by the use of pins and cease works. I'll just let you know, Daniel's put together a bit of a video which has some pretty graphic content, I'm told, about animal carcasses being cut, and that he's put that together to demonstrate how the equipment that he works with operates, so you get a sense of what the OHS risks are in his industry. But I'll just let you know, I haven't seen it myself, but I'm told it's might be a little full on. So would you please welcome Daniel up here?
All right, thank you. I wish to acknowledge that we're meeting here today on the land of the Wurundjeri, which has never been ceded. I also wish to acknowledge the finalists for HSR of the Year for 2019. I've been in the meat industry for about 25 years. In the first abattoir that I worked, my father was the delegate and also the one to teach me slaughtering when I was stepping up to be a slaughterman after labouring for quite some time. Many years later, in another abattoir where I still work today, I too took on the role as union delegate. That was more than 10 years ago. It wasn't long after when I found that OHS issues weren't being dealt with properly due to an OHS rep not being as active as he could have been, and I guess sometimes worried about approaching management. In 2011, I stood to be elected as OHS rep, knowing that we had issues to be addressed and felt that I was up to the job, or certainly I was prepared to do my best. In my own designated work group, there was no question that the workers chose the rep, but in others it appeared that management had a big influence. This was one of the things that came up first. With the help of the union, we found that the OHS Act specifically said that the workers decide the process. So this led to all of the HSRs being elected by the workers from then on in. Upon being elected, Upon being elected, I was pressured in to do the training in a course chosen by management, to which I strongly objected, as the union was an approved trainer who covered issues in a way that was specific to our industry. After all, working with knives and machines that are designed to cut meat and bone is very different to working in an office. One part of the training that I found really helpful was to learn that HSRs had the power to issue a PIN if management won't listen. The first PIN that I issued was about the environment in our change rooms. One particular summer, it got so hot that I brought a thermometer in to record the temperatures for evidence. It actually exploded while I was consulting with management. When the issue was raised, management dismissed it and failed to control the risk. The next hot day we had, I issued a PIN. Despite management having considered that there was no hazard when I was consulting with them, when I issued the PIN, they complied and had an adequate cooling system installed right away. As an HSR, I've used PINs in a number of cases, such as chain speed and work platforms and stations. One particular breach of the Act that I issued a PIN on involved the sterilisers. A steriliser is a small container with flowing water that must be kept at 82 degrees so that bacteria are killed when the knife is placed into it. The steriliser is placed behind every worker and is used approximately every 10 or 15 seconds. The major risk occurred when water temperatures rose unexpectedly and unpredictably surging up. I consulted with management as this reoccurred on multiple occasions. Again, management did not take this seriously, so I issued a PIN. At about 6 a.m. the following morning, the temperature rose so high that the water erupted 2 feet into the air above the sterilisers, placing almost all workers in immediate danger of being seriously burned. Therefore, I called an immediate cease work because management did not respond immediately. Fortunately, no worker was burned. After this, management called in an independent boilermaker who found the source of the problem. 3.5 hours later, we were able to return to work safely. After this, management has become much more responsive to issues that I have raised. One of the issues that I wrote a PIN on was about the lack of consultation about change that could affect health and safety in our workplace. A decision was made to change rosters, with 2 shifts being amalgamated into one larger shift with a much higher rate of production, increasing the speed of the chain. Whilst the issue was resolved, the importance of consultation has become much more part of the process. Management now consult with HSRs, delegates and the workers concerned. For example, there have been new buildings and work processes which we've been able to have input into. This is all ongoing. Another important part of this has been that management have accepted our right to seek assistance. The union organiser and health and safety officer have been able to assist the HSRs in our workplace whenever we ask for them. I've learned so much as an HSR, particularly with the support and assistance of the union. HSRs are extremely important as we have rights and powers to represent workers. It is the workers on the job who know what they do and can often tell management how to make it safer. Many issues that are raised in our workplaces come out of discussions between HSRs and workers and are often discussed in the lunchrooms. Often these are issues that have been overlooked by management as their priorities have always been production and profits first. The workers who I represent tell me that my workplace has been made much safer due to the many issues I've raised. Some resolved peacefully and some which required either PINs or cease works, which certainly makes management take things seriously. I'd like to thank Gwyneth Evans from the Meat Workers Union while I'm here. She's the Health and Safety Officer. She also conducted my training, my 5-day OHS reps training. She gives me plenty of support and advice up until this day. And also if I can thank Manrico for putting all these pictures together, please, and videos. Thank you.